Okay, huge travel ahead. We're going from Bari to Naples. No, from Riga to Bari, from Bari to Naples, from Naples to Palermo, from Palermo to Catania, from Catania to Roma, from Roma somewhere, and then from somewhere to Riga.
Go!
And the knife? You have a knife?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Just left all the things at the escape. Now the bag is totally empty. It's amazing. What am I doing? It's amazing. Every road here has a fountain. It's a beautiful place here in Sicily. For the last year I studied at the Apple Academy, which is actually a study center created in Naples by the company Apple. It turns out that for the last 20 years, Steve Jobs and his colleagues have been working on a very interesting way of studying. It's called challenge-based learning. And the idea with the challenge-based learning is that people get divided in groups immediately, so they don't study. It's not like this. So there's no one teacher and no one class. Instead, there are many small groups and 10 teachers inside the classroom. And these teachers, they teach different things. One teacher could be a programming teacher, one teacher could be a marketing teacher. We would get divided in groups, so the whole class would get divided in these small groups, and we would just start studying. And if we have any questions, if we have a programming question, we go to the programming teacher who is always in the class. If we have any marketing questions, we go to the marketing teacher in the class. If we have design questions, we go to the designer. But anyway, this is me there in the middle. It was pretty difficult to get in. There were like 4,000 people trying to get into Apple Academy, and I was very lucky to be one of the students taken. Then this is me at the WWDC 2017 in California. Apple organizes a developer conference every year in San Jose. As I told you before, I've also worked with startups. This is, I don't know if you know what escape rooms are, but these are like small quests for 1 hour. I developed one of the most technological escape rooms in Italy. This is me talking with the owner of that escape room. And I also create presentations for startups. So if a startup wants to raise an investment, I am there to help them, and this is one of the startups. So in this lecture, I would like to tell you about what lessons I have learned over the past year in Italy, and also play an interactive game called BS Game, which is actually made by me. If your group is number 1, can you raise your hand? Anyone number 1? Too small. Number 4? Okay. The groups during the game never change. During the game, you have to divide in teams within your group. Team number 1 in this game is odd numbers. The challenge is to debate and understand whether private companies should invest in creating study centers. Apple has invested, Deloitte has invested, Uber is starting to invest. Should they continue doing it, or is it a bad idea? The location is very important. Apple created the university, the Apple Academy in Naples. So you have to understand, is it good for private companies? Team 1 has to say, that private companies should invest in creating study centers. Team number 2 says private companies should not invest in study centers. There is one catch. In every team there have to be 3 judges, which I'll pick randomly. Everyone has 3 minutes to get ready, and the teams have to debate. Should they invest or should they not? No, if you're a judge, you're not in any team. You're out of the team.
On investing then on hiring like uneducated employees and then hiring them again and again, they can actually teach employees what they need.
How much?
It's on a company. It could be maybe any like.
Judges should ask a question, yes.
And I wanted to play another round where Team 1 says that the most important factor for startup success is timing, just like this TEDx speaker who analyzed 300 of the biggest startups in the world. And the other team says the most important factor for startup success is pure numbers, which is my way.
Statistical research, and we develop the business.
Twice a week, yes, it should be, because everyone should realize that firstly in their minds that they have work and they have to be there. Yeah.
And it was very interesting to compare Apple headquarters with Google ones, because Google actually invited me to visit their headquarters too. And it's very interesting to see how these big companies motivate their people in their headquarters. When I visited Apple, everyone seemed to be more to themselves. So I think perhaps Apple could even work digitally, because everyone was like, they have these big headquarters, you go inside, but it looks like there are no groups. Google, on the other hand, when I visited their office, they have tons of attraction parks, they have sliders, in fact, they had a hairdresser bus. So if you want to have a new hairstyle, you just go to work. It's free. You go to, there's with street food, they only have it for hairstyles. So you go inside and you have a hairstyle. One more thing that is different between Google and Apple that was very visible was that at the Apple headquarters, everyone has to pay for a lunch. Google buys lunch for all of their employees. I don't know if you know this, but it's also a very huge thing. But Apple employees are still very motivated and they don't go to Google. It's a pretty cool slide. Amazon has this hierarchy. Google has a very different hierarchy. Facebook has more like Apple. It's actually very interesting because, Apple has the Steve Jobs or Tim Cook or someone in the middle. Now it's changing a little bit, but this was the original Steve Jobs management style. It's very interesting that Apple has this one person in the middle, but at the Apple Academy, which Steve Jobs had worked on before he died, where I studied, we work Facebook style because we have many groups and the groups are communicating. Which team are you? Team 1? Apple. Why? So why is it good?
Another thing that is very different between Italy and Latvia is that in Italy people are usually late, and the trains go late, the buses never come, and if you want to travel somewhere you have to leave 1 hour early, which is just fine because the people are much more artistic, the places are more artistic, the cheese is better, the pizza is better. So going 1 hour early is not that much of a problem. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If so, please follow me and subscribe, like it and share it with your friends to see more content just like this. If you have any questions, comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.